Hi, I'm Miss H, and today we're going to be doing an experiment that has to do with solids and liquids. So before we get started, though, I just want to say um, a few safety tips. So don't touch your eyes with what we make. Don't eat it. Have an adult there to help you, and try not to get it on your clothes. So I'm wearing loose, comfy clothes, but let's get messy. Okay. So, before we get started, a question to think about is, does everything need to be a solid or a liquid? And what's the best way to tell if something's a liquid or a solid? So we've probably been talking about this and we've been learning about liquids and solids, but right now we know that like a solid is probably just a firm shape and a liquid is a substance that like flows freely. So what we've got here as we start our experiment is we've got cornstarch, okay? So let's say we use about a whole container, or yeah, that looks about right. Whole container of cornstarch. Look at it, getting so messy. And then we're going to add just about the same amount of water and a little more. So about 1.5 more. You're going to start to mix it together. And it's going to start to get thicker. I'm going to add some of, okay. You're going to start to feel it get weird. Oh, I think I added a little too much water. So we're going to add a little more cornstarch to that. Okay. To make it fun, we're going to add some food dye. Okay. Just a couple of drops. Make it a fun blue. Yeah, and I'm also doing this outside so I don't get it all messy. So now you can start to play with it, which is so fun. So what do you think is going to happen next, okay? So it looks super liquidy in its dish, as you can see. But if I bring some up, and I play with it, it gets hard. See? I think I need some more cornstarch in this. Yeah. So then it gets super hard. And you can like break it like a ball. But then when you let it go, it gets all liquidy. And you could put it into two different size containers, and so it'll probably mold to the different shapes. So what do you think? Do you think it's a solid? Do you think it's a liquid? We've added cornstarch and water. Do you think it's neither? Do you think it's both? What do you think? Look at that. So right now it's pretty hard. You can crack it in half, but if I let go, it oozes. So this is called oobleck. It's kind of a substance that actually is both a liquid and a solid. So if I add force to it, like how I am right now, it's like I can break it. But if I let go, it becomes a liquid. So cool. It's actually called a non-Newtonian fluid. So it seems like force is what changes it. So you guys play around. Let's see if you agree. I'm not sure. Is force what's changing it? So press your fingers on it. Can it go through? I press my finger really hard. It's not even breaking the surface, but if I put my finger on and leave it, oh, it goes right down. Very cool. Play around with it. There's many other people who've done experiments like this. Like some people filled a whole pool with this stuff. Do you think people would be able to run across it? Or do you think they would sink through it like quicksand? What do you think would happen? Do you think you'd be able to run across the surface like it was soil? Or do you think you'd be able to, or do you think you would sink right through? So if you apply force to it, it seems like it gets hard and like a solid like, but when you leave it, then it's like a liquid. So it's kind of like a both. So it's a liquid and a solid. So it's the non-Newtonian fluid, which is very cool. And it actually came from a Dr. Seuss book. But I'll leave a little video with this so you can watch more people do cool experience with this. But you can make so much of this. It's very cool. Bye. I hope you had a great experiment with me.